mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers, and I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience. Just you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
I grew up in an apartment.
You know, and I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity, and that.
Are you listening to this?
We as Americans have a
asking her
character.
Ideas on the economy, and she's like, I grew up
ambitions and aspirations
with people that like their lawns.
But not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that.
This is when you don't know the questions.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, wait, watch.
So, when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business.
Oh. By the way, that's what happens when you don't know the answers and you have been prepped and there's no cheating involved. That is her raw dog. That is her.
If only she had an advisor in her ear that just say, I'm going to work with the Fed to lower interest rates and help reduce the cost of living, and we're also going to work with an energy program.
That's it.
So that we can get if we're producing our own energy and we're not importing the oil, it'll get the cost of gas, travel, and diesel for trucks down, which would reduce the cost of things for the average American. That's how I answer the question, and even the most basic person could sit there and go, oh, okay, well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, look, you know, a lot of people say, listen, the reason I like Trump and the reason I want Trump in there is because he's a businessman and we need to run the country like a business. All right, there's a lot of truth to be said there. Now, you also have to understand that there's, you know, policy that needs to be understood and everything that happens with the Constitution, and maybe Trump is not exactly the #1 candidate for that. But here you have Kamala, who, you know, you talk about public-private partnerships. Has she ever, literally ever had a job not in public service? She ever run a business? Has she ever had employees?
She worked at McDonald's.
Okay,
and she has guns.
McDonald's claims she didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Just because you worked at McDonald's doesn't mean that you understand
McDonald's said
how
no.
small businesses work. And just because she's cooking the fries doesn't mean that she's cutting the checks. So here's somebody who has apparently zero experience running any sort of business whatsoever. So do I want to have someone who is 100% business that maybe needs to learn some policy perspective, or someone who is 100% government and has no clue how businesses run, the economies run? The whole concept that she's looking out for small businesses is genuinely laughable to me. What in her track record has she ever done, ever, to help small businesses? And she's going to go basically, you know, in 2008 when the mortgage crisis and mortgage-backed securities, I helped people figure that out. No, you didn't. What did you do? That was the federal government basically helping step in with stimulus checks. What happened? I just think there's so much smoke and mirrors here, and where he needs to focus the economy, because she's absolutely clueless when it comes to that.
And it would have been such a layup because 2 days after the debate, the administration, not administration, but her people were pointing out, no. She's been in favor of fracking. She's not anti-fracking, because what do we know fracking? Fracking helps you drill, baby, drill. Yeah. And all that answer had to be inflation. We're worried about inflation. Let's talk about the cost of gas and the cost of heating oil that hit people right in the pocketbook. I am in favor of fracking so that we can have more oil and gas drilled here in the United States and get the price down for the American people. That's not a complicated case study. That's a simple answer. And Adam, to your point, why can't she just say that from something her campaign was answering 2 days prior?
The reason why I show that is because she went to an ABC network. So the agreement is ABC. What do you think is the longest podcast she's going to do?
You think she'll do one?
What do you think is the longest podcast she'll do?
0. I do not think that she'll sit on a long-form podcast.
At all. No, unless it's like, when she was on the Breakfast Club, they just laugh and they joke around, and it's absolutely...
When was she on the Breakfast Club?
Oh, she was on the Breakfast Club for a while.
Okay, but I'm saying, what is she doing now? I think everything's going to be Joe Biden 2.0, hang out in the basement, scripted, edited, zero
So here's what Stephen A. Smith
zero
said.
independent podcast not happening.
we may put the biggest election night event together outside of whatever Kamala and Trump is going to do. We're probably going to put the third biggest one there. You're going to want to be there. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be wild. It's going to be insane. It'll be a lot of fun, creativity, craziness. But here's the thing. To attend it, you're going to have to buy a ticket to go to it, obviously. Tickets are not going to be, vault type of tickets where you're spending, 15, 20, 25K. We're not talking that. It'll be lower amount tickets that we're doing. However, a barrier to enter. When you come in, you have to wear Future Looks Bright gear. We want the room to be filled with people wearing Future Looks Bright gear. So for some of you that want to fly out November 5th, when I tell you what it is and the announcement is finalized, it's going to be crazy. If you don't yet own Future Looks Bright gear, all you have to go get something. Guys, we have a girl, one of Adam's colleagues, posts a video about her wearing this red vitamin hat. She's walking around. It's like everybody's stopping and says, "You're also Vitamin, you're also Future." I am. It's amazing what's taking place. Vinny, yesterday, if you want, are you comfortable sharing your story? Go ahead.
I had surgery yesterday, back at work, because that's how we roll. I had a big cyst removed from my lower back, and I'm in, getting ready pre-op. All the needles are on my arm. I'm ready to go in. A Cuban guy eating a protein bar walks by, stops in his tracks, and goes, "Mira, Vicente Pipiri Paca," and then he leaves. He grabs 7 people, Tom. I'm surrounded by 7 people, and all they're talking about is how glad and happy they are that what we're doing, how amazing of a leader Pat is, and what America needs is what's happening right now. People were screaming, "Future Looks Bright" in the back, and then one Haitian lady looks at me and goes, "I want you to tell Adam, thank you for sticking up for the Haitians, because not all of us eat cats." And I go, "But some people do in Springfield." But Pat, the movement, no joke, and I wanted to address this too, Pat, what you're doing, what you've started, what you've built. I can't even go. Besides coffee, I'm nervous because I'm about to go in there and I could die on an operating table. And I had a group of 7 people on me talking about Valuetainment and your vision and what Valuetainment is doing.
So what was that story about? And by the way,
he's like, "Oh, all of us are slackers, huh?"
Look, if you support, which we appreciate, if you believe Future Looks Bright, we want 1 million people worldwide to support this again. So go to vtmerch.com, okay? Represent anything. We got so much gear right now. The flip-flops, we had a few more left for some of you guys that want to pick it up. That's the only flip-flop I wear, by the way, when I walk the dog, just so you know that. My Jesus feet will only go in that flip-flop when I'm walking the dogs at night. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order. There's a bunch of new gear there as well. And if you want to come to that party on November 5th, you got to wear Future Looks Bright. We're going to make videos. It's going to be sick. It's going to be all over the place. Millions of views. It'll be a lot of fun.
They have no idea.
No,
I don't think they know what the heck you're talking about.
I can't tell them yet, but it'll be exciting when it gets found.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right there.
You could skip this ad, but don't skip the part that can help you get the job done. At Grainger, we're here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery. You man! Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
struggling because of the crises Kamala's policies have created. They are facing the highest inflation of a lifetime because of failed Kamala economics. They're facing a raging border crisis that has devastated American communities because of Kamala Harris's role as Joe Biden's open borders are. And they are seeing a weak foreign policy that has plunged the world into a state of chaos. We cannot afford 4 more years of failure and weakness under Kamala Harris. On the floor this week, House Republicans will bring a series of bills to combat the Biden-Harris failed foreign policy of appeasement that has emboldened our adversaries like Communist China. I also want to briefly touch on this afternoon's Oversight Committee hearing, where I will join members of the Select Committee on COVID to demand long overdue answers from disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo on behalf of the families who lost loved ones as a result of his fatal nursing home directive. Yesterday, the Select Committee released a report detailing that disgraced Governor Cuomo himself and his most senior aides ordered, directed, and executed the deadly nursing home executive order killing over 15,000 vulnerable seniors, confirming what hardworking New Yorkers have known for years. This bombshell testimony also reveals that the disgraced former governor and his top aides were caught covering up their culpability and guilt in an attempt to selfishly save their shredded reputations. There is no question that Andrew Cuomo is responsible for the deaths of innocent nursing home seniors. I want to turn it over to Chairman John Molinar, who's going to talk about many of the bills we have on the floor this week, and then we're going to hear from our Foreign Affairs Chair, Mike McCall, and the rest of leadership. We'll start with John Molinar.
Requesting objective equipment.
Thank you, Conference Chair, and good morning, everyone. I want to thank Speaker Johnson and the Republican leadership for bringing over 2 dozen bills on U.S.-China competition while tackling CCP aggression head-on from the American heartland to the Taiwan Strait. The Speaker has been supportive of the committee's work, and I'm thankful for his vote of confidence in pledging to continue the committee in the next Congress. I'm proud that many of the Select Committee's recommendations are included in the bills this week, along with important legislation from the House Foreign Affairs Committee led by Chairman McCall, as well as some of the other standing committees. And we're here today because the Chinese Communist Party presents the greatest threat to American values and American national security in our lifetime. But we can stand up to the CCP by defending our values and reducing the party's leverage over the United States. This week, Congress will take action to secure our supply chain. From electric vehicle batteries to healthcare to critical infrastructure, the Chinese Communist Party wants to make us dependent on companies subject to its direction. Legislation on the floor this week will take steps to protect taxpayers from being used by the CCP to advance its leverage over our critical supply chains. China Week will also protect American technology. We need to stem the flow of sensitive American technology to our foremost adversaries by strengthening our export controls. Legislation brought up by several of my colleagues, including Mr. Barr, a member of the Select Committee on China, will take meaningful steps to advance accountability and close loopholes permitting the flow of sensitive technology to the PRC. And most importantly, China Week will defend our values. Legislation on the floor this week will defend human rights in Hong Kong and counter the CCP's malign influence around the world. This week,
Allied destroyer joining squadron, deploying Helldivers.
one voice, the U.S. Congress will tell Xi Jinping this far and no further. I again want to applaud Speaker Johnson and the House leadership for bringing these bills to the floor and making China Week a reality. Chairman
Walker, north.
Hey, John, I want to thank Speaker Johnson as well, particularly for inviting the Gold Star families today for a presentation of the Congressional Gold Medal on behalf of their children who were blasted by a suicide bomber that came out of Bagram prison, and it didn't have to happen. But I want to thank you, sir, for honoring their sacrifice and those families who I was with last night. We've been working, I'd say 3 years, but really 2.
Great liberty, my arm! Eat this! Out of stim! Point me to the enemy. Sending in an eagle. Reinforcing. Throwing grenade.
Request approved. Reinforcements on the way.
Requesting air support.
Delivering payload. Eagle 1 leaving combat zone to resupply.
Mag's empty.
Mission at 10 minutes remaining.
Requesting sentry. Mag's empty. Last reload. Freedom forever. Out of ammo. Mag's empty. Liberty save me! Time! Grenade! Ah! Engaging terminal.
One step closer to mission completion.
Tagging map. West. On my position.
Allied destroyer joining squadron. Deploying Helldiver.
Dropping a pin. Northeast. 100 meters.
Automaton outpost destroyed.
Tagging map. Southwest. 300 meters. Pulling down a support weapon. Requesting orbital. supplies, northeast. Calling down a sentry. My leg! Calling down a walker.
Helldiver, glad to have you on board. An unmitigated success. Aside from the below-average sample collection,